Welcome to tutorial number 13. In this video, I shall describe how to implement pods in the newest version of OpenRocket version 22.02 beta 01. This is the first version that has pods, so it's appropriate to show you how to use it now. It may be refined in the future, but right now pods appears to work just fine, at least for me. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to use this model here. It could be anything, but it makes it easier for me to demonstrate some of the features. Okay, the first thing we're going to do in order to use a pod is we're going to have to select the body tube you want. And you're going to find right here that you can select that, and you can see the pods are lit. Or you can select here, and you get the pod. But if you try to do it on transitions or a nose cone, you're not going to get pods. So pods is pretty much only in with off of a body tube. Okay, so we're going to select this one. And you can see right here I got this body tube. In fact, I'm going to rename that home main because we're going to be using it later too. And we need to identify it from the other one. Okay, so first thing we do is we've already highlighted the main body tube, and we're going to say pod. Okay, and then from here you're not going to see anything on the design drawing. You're just going to see that you got it. And for right now, let's just close this pod configuration. We'll mess with it a little bit later. Okay, all right. With the pods set highlighted over here, you're gonna see. Let's attach some tubes to make on the pod itself. So we're gonna do a body tube, and you see right here that the body tube is now associated with the pod, and now you can see them right here. And you could put any kind of tube and everything, but just to make our life easy, we're just going to say, well, from the database, we're going to use ABT20 from here. And obviously we don't want it that long. We're going to make it say 4 inches. And that's a reasonable length right there. And we're going to close it right there. Okay, and then if you notice, we're going to select the back view from here, and you can see how this works. Okay, all right, so from there, we're going to do, I'm going to show you that you don't want necessarily just 2, so let's just select pod, edit, and now, so you see, by default it always does 2, let's put 3. Or 4, or any number you want, but we're gonna use 3. Okay, just for the fun of it. All right, so now we'll close that. Let's go back to the side view. Okay, now that I've done that, let's go ahead and I'll show you with some of these other things too. With pods selected, we're going to edit, and I'm going to show you that we can do an offset, and I'm just going to do it, and you can see what happens. It moves it backward and forward. Let's do that one just for grins. Okay. All right. Now let's go back here and select the back view one more time. And we're going to edit the pod set. See pod set, we're going to edit it. And I'm going to show you what some of these do. Radial, we're going to do the angle. See, the angle will rotate those pods around the center. Okay. We just want to move back to 0. Okay. The radial distance, and you'll notice here you can have relative to the center line of the parent, which would be the main body tube, or relative to the surface, which is 99, which is what you got right here, which is 99 times out of 100 what you're going to want. But let's just for grins, let's put this at 3 just to get it out of our way for a while and show you some other things. Um, okay, close. Let's go back to the side view. Okay, now we got the side view here. And you know, she got these pods kind of hanging way out here. And another reason we're going to want to do is we're probably going to want to put them on a pylon or a fin. To do that, we also want those associated because we want it per pod. So we're going to have on the body tube, you can do anything on this body tube that you can on any other body tube. Okay, so you could put, we're going to put fins because we want a pylon. And just to make life easy, we're going to use a trapezoid. And let's make it, we're going to have 3 fins because we have 3 pods. And we're going to make use of, let's keep, let's notice this Control C on this, because we're going to want this later. And we don't want any sweep. Oh, you notice here it's putting it on the pod. We don't want it on the pod, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of this. But you see, we can put fins on the pod. So we want to do that. But we want the fins to actually be on the main body. So again, trapezoid. We want 3 fins. We want the height. Remember the height. Got to notice this height because we're going to need that to fit the tubes onto it. So, okay. We don't want any sweep. And we want to make it square. We just want it to be a pylon. So let's make this 2. Let's make this 2. And let's make, we'll leave the height. Well, let's leave the height the way it is. Okay. And close. And you see here they are. But our pods are way the heck out here. So what we're going to do is in the pod set, in the pods, edit. Now, remember this radial distance we made 3 because we made the fins a certain height. Let's just make that distance the same thing. And you see what we got here? Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Yeah. You can see what you got here, that now the pod sits directly on top of the pylon. So let's look at the back view. And you see they're sitting right on it. That's exactly what we're going to want for this particular time. Okay. Now you got to pipe. Now, if you just want them to be like jet engines, you're probably just fine. But no, we want to make it. We want to make it like a true pod. We can do things like, no, let's put a nose cone on it. And see, we did that. They were BT20, so let's select a BT20 nose cone. Okay, a BT20 nose cone. It doesn't really matter what it is. BT20. We'll give it some length. BT20 length. We don't want. Let's try this one right here. Yeah, that looks reasonable. But you know, it always tacks it on the end, like you've always seen. But we could just move it up, just like you do on a regular tube. Okay, and let's say we want them. All right, OR, as you remember, doesn't have tail cones. But to do a tail cone, you can do it just like you do it to the main tube. You can do it on the pod, and you can say, make a transition. And what we'll do is we'll make the transition the same as the tube, okay, which is that, but we'll make the aft part 0, okay, and then we're going to make, we don't want it to be, let's say we want a more rounded, so we're going to make it, oh, I don't know, let's try, yeah, not what I want, okay, let's try a power series and see if we can get what we want from here. No, that's not going to do it. Uh, nah, I don't like that one either. So let's just stick with the oh, give and make it short. Let's see, make it 0.5. Yeah, that's more like what I want. All right. Now you notice that when we put the nose cone on, it shifted the pod. So you may have to shift the pod set forward and backward so it sits on the fin because you notice it did move it up and down according to whatever you had for this tail cone. Okay, now there you go. There's your basic setup right there. But now you say, well, yeah, but these pylons really don't give me much fin area. I want a little more fin area. All right, well, again, let's stick with the trapezoid just for ease because we're not going to do a training session on freeform fins right now. So let's just do it this way. You'll notice that anything we do on this body tube, when we put the nose cones on the tail cone, it applied to all the pods. So what you do to one, you do to all. They're always symmetrical. If you want it to be asymmetrical, have two different pod sets. Okay. Now, okay, so here we're gonna do some more fins. So we select this body tube, and then we're gonna add a trapezoid fin. And let's say we like that one. Okay, but we only need one for here. Okay, and we kind of like it to be. I'm thinking that that's the right orientation right there. But let's look at the back to be sure. Yeah, see, they're all coming off the pod. They're just fine. So that's exactly what we want. So there you go. There's your basic design right there. If there's any questions or if there's anything else you'd like to cover, we can do. I can do a follow-up video. All right. So that'll be it for now. Bye.